So you guys know I'm always looking for an excuse to talk about the grapple. And the other day I was reading through the comment section and somebody asked about some shortcuts because on one of the last videos you guys saw me use the out of bounds. And this video isn't so much going to be talking about the mechanics of the grappling hook, I'm more so going to show you the places that you can use it to get to. So we're going to be covering shortcuts, and I'm also going to show you guys a few tricks in between, because you do need some of the tricks in order to actually, use the grappling hook to do some of these moves that I'm going to be showing you. And we're not going to have to cover every level individually, because some levels just really don't have anything else to offer other than just slingshots. Alright, send me off. You're not Gates. You. That's what happens when you end up regenerating and forgetting to change your settings over. Anyways, let me show you guys something that's pretty standard. Not that move. That's more like a pressure flip and something for another video. So this is probably one of the most common openers, and probably one of the most common mistakes is that you try to get too much max extension, and usually in this situation that can be a death right there, especially at the beginning of the games, because everyone's rushing to the middle and mistakes like that are typically punished. So when I made this video, I really wanted to make sure that I was just doing it in real time and not making cuts. I did make cuts like this just to kind of bring, I didn't want to waste your time just positioning myself waiting for the grapple to regenerate, because the main idea that I want you guys to see is that I'm not going to be overly concerned about how I set myself up, because usually you just want to have a general idea and then, it is what it is. I don't think you should be spending too much time figuring out where to stand to get max extension. I don't think that's the point. You just want to kind of open your horizon and start looking for opportunities wherever you may find them. And that's what I thought was weird when I made this video. When I go specifically to do routes, it really affects my flow, because I usually just base my movement based on where I think I want to be or where somebody else is. Conscious choice to stop holding crouch. For some reason I just felt like it would be better off, and it was. And I think a lot of these things you're gonna have to feel out and just kind of get the experience for. So let me just go into Relic, which doesn't actually have a lot of grapple routes, but it does have this one common one that I think everybody needs to be familiar with if you're somebody who uses the grappling hook. So the traditional way to get up here is just to do a slingshot upwards. And from there you can just bunny hop across the top and usually land on some peeps. Or you can do a second slingshot and reposition yourself somewhere like here. And if you're ever in doubt about what you're going to be doing up there, just save 2 grapple charges. That's going to save you for when you mess up. And trust me, this level it's easy to get across the rooftop. Some levels it's not, and you're going to want that second grapple. And I'm going to show you guys that specifically on, what is that map's name? I always forget. Complex. Finally. Complex has a ton of shortcuts, and they're a little bit tougher than most, I would say. The other shortcuts I'm going to show you are on Crash Site, which again is one of the most terrible maps in the game. It's super imbalanced, probably even more imbalanced with grapple, but it's also a lot funner that way. It makes maps like that so much more enjoyable. It actually flips the tables on some builds and things like that you can exploit on maps like that. I'm talking about Ronin. Anyways, this is the second way to get up anywhere. You can just brute force your way with grapple, do the little spams, you won't waste any charge by the wall, and you can just climb up easy peasy. So those are the 2 ways to really get up high. You're either slingshotting upwards, or you are going to just be grapple spamming upwards. Speaking of grapple spam, this is the exercise I recommend to anybody. This is actually how I learned it. I'm like, is this possible? And when I found out that it was, I'm like, oh, okay, well, that changes everything. So if you don't know about this, learn that, because that just explains everything else. So for any map I didn't cover, it's because what it involves is stuff like this, just short range grapples, little bursts. Try not to hit your head. That's usually what happens indoors. You try to double jump or something like that, and if you're not pulling in the right direction, you're gonna end up hitting your head. Okay, this map right here, tons of shortcuts, and they're all super useful. And the thing about grapple is that you're always on the high ground, right? And that's not map dependent. That's just on every map. But this map in particular does actually have a lot of high-rise shortcuts. And a lot of them are pretty risky. That one right there is the easiest one. I would say this is the second easiest one. I wasted a lot of grapple here, so now you guys are going to have to wait with me. But pretty much all these rooftops around you lead to some part of the map. This one's super easy. The gap is really short. I'm up here now, so I'm like, oh, can I wall run on that? I'm like, not as good as I thought I'd be able to. Anyways, and that's pretty much the threshold for when you're out of bounds. So, you're going to have to experiment a lot with this, but This is the next one. I remember when I first learned how to somewhat slingshot, this is the first route I was able to do. Then I'm like, ooh, that's pretty neat. I have a tendency to do it the wrong way. I think you guys should open up the opposite way that I'm doing it. I'm doing it towards the right. I think you should do it towards the left. It seems to make more sense to me as I'm looking at it. For some reason, I always wanna hit the wall. I just feel much more comfortable when I do. But going around the wall or just aiming yourself like you know, coming around instead of doing this. But I feel that this is pretty comfortable. But I think there's definitely an easier way. So you can also go back, and I'm like, ooh, should I wait for that second charge? When in doubt, do. If not, I'm just like, whatever, YOLO. I'm not super satisfied with my slingshot, and then I was a little behind on my jump because I wasn't sure which way I was going to recover, if I was going to try for a second grapple or whatnot. So the decisions you're kind of making up there, but at least show up with 2 grapples in case things get scary. I'm going to have to ask you guys because I've never noticed this, and if I have, I forget all about it. When I'm in multiplayer, all I'm thinking about is pilots, not dogs or hellhounds or whatever this thing is. Oh, apparently it's grenade resistant. I thought maybe that would move it. Nothing. Alright, what's the next shortcut? It's right above it. So we're going to brute force this one upwards. It saves a lot more grapple than just doing one long grapple. Short grapples are always going to save you way more grapple than just trying to do one big one. And you'd be thinking to yourself right now, aren't you wasting it? It's like, not as much as you would have used the whole charge. I haven't even used the complete charge yet. So I think I'm still up. For as awful as I'm doing, you know, it's still working out. Alright, now we're here. I would say this is the riskiest one, and this one you actually do need to stand on this in order to make it. Yeah, what you're looking for is just a clean up jump, and you want to try to hit your feet as soon as possible to get your jump back, and then you can go to the next tier, and you'll see that right now if everything goes according to plan. Whoa, I hit my head. I'm not going to make it if I do that. Nope. You need 2 grapples for this shortcut. If you can do this with 1... No, it's not possible. You can't do this with 1. No way, no how. You would need to eject out of your Titan. Having a fine glass of wine right now. It's a 2020. Oh boy. Not this time. And that's pretty much it for this level. That's all you need to know. There is another spot out in the back, but why would you ever go there? No one's ever there. If you just want to do it for the hell of it, well, you'll find it. Just go fool around up there. This is super common. You come out here, and I missed my jump, but I know how to time it out, so as soon as my feet are about to hit the ground, because you want that double jump back when you go for your grapple, that's fine. And that's all about making those corrections, right? That's why we're going to just do this all uncut. I want you guys to see everything that kind of just happens along the way. These trees here are pretty damn hard to get by, but the thing is you don't actually need to. It puts you exactly where you want to be. Everything works out as far as I'm concerned. So let me show you a couple of counterpoints. So those are like the 2 most common ones if you're just starting off. And this is my common opener. I think this is a superior position because it offers you 2 things. You can get the guy that's coming over if you think somebody is, and already shoot him, do whatever you want to up there. So you're meeting shortcut for shortcut. And then the second one is more of an offensive approach, and usually the one that I use if I don't go just for the opener right in the front. So let's go ahead and do this one. So this one you need a little bit more height, and then from here you can hang out here, maybe shoot a person, you know, throw a couple grenades. You get so much time. 10 seconds is a long time. Let me show you a couple of more shortcuts. No, still not getting past those trees. But look how long that is. And you literally come out of nowhere. All those bushes there. This is the approach I take if I actually want to get over to the other side. Right here, there's a nice clearing. If you have another grapple, you can use it to just get right over this ship and practically... you can get to the other side, actually. It's not that hard. It's pretty much all these shortcuts are practically the same, but I want to show you one thing that keeps happening because it'll kind of get you ready for things like this, because you weren't really meant to be up here. There is a few invisible walls, so you have to watch out for those. It's right to my left, and you'll notice that another time. So you notice that we had 2 grapples. You know, 2 grapples gets us through there easy. If you get a nice slingshot, then you can do it with 1 in this level. If you ever felt useless, well, look at these zip lines, because let me tell you, they don't offer much in this level. Not at all. All the walls are already fairly close to each other. These things just slow you down for the most part. I'm like, where's this get us? Right into a tree. But even then, it's fine. You can just see how you can hang out up here all game. That's why I spent so much of this video in this level, is because it turns this level completely upside down. Or bottom ups, or whatever you want to say. I'm floating, and I'm dead. That thing's always there, by the way. That invisible wall is consistent. It's like a ramp. We're gonna hit it again, don't worry. Throwing your Titan eject together with a grapple will get you anywhere on any map. That's how you get to the craziest spots. That's why I love ejecting so much. It puts me into areas I don't get to play in as often. And anything that spices up Titanfall for me is a go. I want to show you guys this last spot because I find that newer players seem to get stuck in here, and when there's Ronins on this level, being in here and not knowing about this opening is terrifying. Up and over. Easy peasy. And then you can get on this tower. Everything up here is accessible. Everything is. And if you let your 2 grapples recharge, you're going to have no problems up here, and you can continuously just jump in on people. My favorite thing about this map is how easy it is to get up here, so when you have other grapple people in the game and they know about this, it makes for some epic fights out here. I love it because you're not only fighting them, you're also fighting the clock. It's a really fun battle. What else is there to show you guys on this map? I don't think much else. You can slingshot off of that point. I think that's one of the most common points as well. And from here, you can pretty much go to any part of the level. You can take the right, you can take the left, you can keep going straight. And with 2 grapples, you could do even a better slingshot than that and actually get yourself all the way to that opening spawn. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. I think I've pretty much showed you everything else. Like things like Rise, there's nothing keeping you from going up there. So if you wanted to go up there, just go up there and start exploring. But really, it looks just like the bottom. You're just on the rooftop. So it's not going to be super tricky or anything. I just think it's fun to fight up there. But yeah, that's it, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like, leave a comment. If you guys want to check me out again, well, make sure to leave that notification on. I think it may actually help me. I don't know how these things work. Ooh, that was a good one. That was easy. Alright, let's go right back. We're hardly gonna wait. Oh, what is that? What is shaking me? Alright, that was weird. Right through the trees? Okay, apparently those aren't real. Yeah, you just never know what you're gonna get into when you go up here sometimes. So that's it for me, guys. Again, thank you all for joining me. I'm Paper. Cut to you. And I'll see you all next time.